Machines or free weights, which one actually builds muscle faster? Guys, in the fitness space, I feel like there's two teams, there's two sides to this debate. On one side, there's the guys who say that free weights are the only way. If you're not training with free weights, you're not training properly. You're not building muscle. On the other side, there's the guys that say use machines only. Machines are safer. Machines are more effective. Machines are easier. Therefore, machines are better. None of these are correct. Let's talk about some of the pros of machines. Especially for beginners, machines are a lot easier to learn. They're a lot easier to use. Usually the machines are going to have a diagram on what exactly you need to do. All you need to do is adjust your weight, adjust the seat, and maybe adjust the angle of the machine, and that's all it will take. From there, all you need to do is the simple movement that the machine is telling you to do. And you're going to have a 9 out of 10 chance you're probably doing that exercise right, and you're probably hitting the muscle group that it's intended for. The second pro is that machines are actually safer. Compared to free weight lifting, machines are going to be a safer option. Guys, this comes down to the fact that it's very difficult to fail, if not impossible to fail. For example, if you're doing a bench press and you're doing a weight that's fairly heavy, you can drop it on your chest, you can get injured. With a machine, all you need to do is disengage the machine and you're done. Another reason is that the machine severely restricts your range of motion. Most machines have a preset range of motion that the machine is for. The only job you have to do is set the weight and follow that range of motion that the machine has prepared for you. The third pro, guys, is machines help you work on your mind-muscle connection. This is something especially important for beginners who just start lifting and you're not used to activating the muscles that you're trying to work while you're training. This is really good for that because machines are very dedicated, they're very specific. Most machines are targeting a specific muscle group. If you use a bicep curl machine, you can be guaranteed that the only thing you're going to work is your biceps. If you use a leg press, you're only working your legs. So these machines are very specific on what you should be using. And for a beginner lifter, it can really help you learn to feel and understand what muscles you're training. And the last pro of machines, which ties back to what we just said as well, is it's very easy to work on our target muscle that we're trying to train on a machine. And this goes especially when we're tired. For example, if you're doing a barbell bench press, which is a free weight exercise, a lot of the time beginners, including myself when I first started lifting, a lot of other muscles actually overcompensate for what we're trying to work. And it's just our body's natural way of moving weights if it has to. It will overcompensate with another muscle to lift the weight that we're challenging with, which overall in life isn't a bad thing. But in terms of building muscle in the gym, to get the muscle gains that we want to be targeting the muscle groups we try to hit. So this is where machines come in. It's a lot harder for you to overcompensate with other muscles that you're not trying to train when you're using a machine. Because again, machines are intended usually to work a specific muscle or group of muscles. And it's going to be very difficult to get outside of that zone of what you're supposed to be working with machines. All right, let's talk about some pros of free weights. The first thing, it recruits more muscles at once, including your stabilizers. An example of this is barbell rows versus machine seated rows. When you're doing a barbell row, you have to bend over and you have to do the stabilization of your body while you're rowing the barbell. Your abs are included, your shoulders are included. Obviously, the back is the main muscle that you're working. And in a way, you're training your arms as well to deal with the pressure of holding that amount of weight in your hands while you're pulling it to you. So all at once, you're recruiting at least 3 to 4 different muscle groups at once, including stabilizers. And this stabilization strength transfers to different lifts and movements. I noticed, especially when I started to incorporate barbell rows into my routine more, I noticed my stabilization strength of all my exercises improve. I was more stable on bench press. I was more stable and stronger on pull-ups. I could get more pull-ups out because I could hold weight for longer in my hands. And I just felt stronger as a core and as a unit in general because of me working my stabilizer muscles. So this is very important. Everyone that's training should be doing free weight exercises. I'm not for only using machines, but one thing for sure, you should be incorporating free weight exercises into your routine somehow, some way, because working these stabilizer muscles are extremely important. And it's going to transfer to every single exercise. The second pro is It's going to allow you to do more natural movement patterns. Using a free weight will give you a more natural movement pattern that you could apply to the real world. So the thing about machines is it really restricts you. It restricts you into the range of motion of the machine. You can't really go outside of that range of motion, which could be a good thing for beginners that are learning and, improving the craft of lifting weights. But as someone who slowly starts to get better, you want to be including more free weight exercises than not into your workouts. This comes down to the fact, again, that we're using our own body stabilization system. Machines are bolted into the ground, they don't move, and all we need to do is move the weight. But when we either are standing or sitting or laying down or whatever movement we're doing with a free weight, we're using our own body stabilization to hold the weight, and we're using it to move the weight in a good form. And guys, the last and most important thing about free weights is, in general, it's proven that it's going to give you more long-lasting gains and strength in the long run. That's the truth, guys. Because of all the things we just discussed, free weights are going to be the meat and potatoes of what's going to be building you muscle. There's a reason you see all the bodybuilders all prioritize free weight compound movements. You don't ever see a bodybuilder who doesn't do squats, who doesn't do bench press, who doesn't do rows, deadlifts. All of these things are in a bodybuilder's routine. And this is because they're effective. This is because they're efficient. Overall, these is what is going to build you muscle and strength faster. They mimic real-world movements, they're natural, and they're easier to progressive overload than machines. Machines often have incremented weight stacks, and they often have a limit as well of what you can go up to. Free weights in general are easier to increment. They're easier to slowly add resistance. Even myself, I slowly overload my bench press by adding 2.5 pound plates. So overall, guys, for building muscle and strength, free weights is superior to machines. All right, guys, so let's get into the real answer. What should you use, machines or free weights? The answer is use both. As a beginner, you want to be prioritizing free weights for your main lifts. If you're working biceps, you should be doing some sort of curling movement with either a dumbbell or an easy bar. And now machines can be used for your accessory work. For your legs, you can use machines to train isolated muscles that you want to work more, that your squats might not be focusing on completely, like your calves. You can use a calf raise machine. For your biceps, you can use a preacher curl machine. For your back, you can do some lat pull downs or some seated rows to really get out the last little bit of energy after you do your main free weight compound movement. So these two should be used in tandem. They should be used together. I say to use the free weights as 70% of your workout and use the machines as the 30%. Use the machines for your isolation work. Use the machines for getting out that last little bit of juice out of your muscles. That's how I personally use the machine, and that's what's worked for me. But overall, guys, like I always say, it's not about the equipment you use. If you don't stick to the basic fundamentals of training, it doesn't matter what you use. You're not going to get progress. Every set you should be aiming to get between 2 to 3 reps of failure. You should be progressing. You should be improving your form. You should be adding weight. You should be adding reps or sets. You should be doing something to make it more intense and difficult every single time that you train. Something should be getting more difficult. And you need to be consistent. As I always say, that is the most important thing about fitness and seeing your change in your body and just in life in general. Being consistent. If you go to the gym 1 day a week and you don't go for the next 2 weeks and you come back, it doesn't matter what you're using. You could use free weights, you could use machines, you can not use anything at all. You're not going to get anything if you're not being consistent. So you have to keep that in mind. Keep the basic fundamentals in mind, along with what I said, 70% free weights, 30% machines, and you're going to see gains, guys. Free weights are going to build more overall muscle and strength. Machines are going to help you fill gaps. They're going to help you work on isolation movements, and they're going to get that last little bit of energy out of you with your muscles and push you to your absolute limits. If this video helped you in any way, please consider giving this a like and subscribe. I really appreciate that. And let me know if you have any questions. I could try to help you in the comments below. Choose what fits your goals in general, no matter what. You need to be doing something that's effective, efficient, and that you enjoy. Choose what works for you and train hard no matter what and keep showing up.